Okay, so do you remember a few episodes back, I was sharing my favorite kitchen inserts and gadgets that just make the space function that much better? Well, I have part two of that list to share with you, and I'm pretty confident that once you see these and once you experience them, you're not going to want to live without them. I can't wait to share it with you, so let's get into it. So if you bake regularly, I highly recommend including one of these into your kitchen design. My name is Lisa Santaki. I'm a designer and interior stylist. And if interior design and decor are your thing, hit that subscribe button and follow along. Plate drawers. I love plate drawers. You pull the drawer out and you have this peg system within the drawer, and it just makes accessing your bowls and plates that much easier. And this peg system that is within the drawer can be moved around so that it fits your plates and your bowls perfectly. It prevents any sliding around of these items. It keeps everything neatly stacked and organized. I think it allows you to keep all your dishes in a spot that's just easily accessible. I also find it a lot easier to put the dishes away from the dishwasher, especially if you're shorter in height. Sometimes the upper cabinets, it can feel awkward and you can't just stack all the plates and lift. It just doesn't feel as natural as putting it down into a drawer. I think it's a great option if you have the space for it. It also allows children in the home to access dishes easily or help you put them away from the dishwasher. Everything's at a height that is easily accessible for both you as an adult and for your children at a lower height. Okay, so bread drawer is another one. This is a 50-50. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of bread drawers because they do collect crumbs. However, I've had quite a few of my clients that have this on their list as a must. It keeps all your breads organized within this one drawer. It has a top on it that is vented, so everything stays fresh longer. Okay, the next one is a food drawer or produce drawer. And a lot of the time, these particular drawers are actually configured in pantry pullouts or in lower cabinet pullouts. And essentially what they are is a pullout with a mesh bottom. And a lot of the time what's stored on it are onions, vegetables, sometimes apples, items that you don't want to keep out on the countertop but still need to be vented. These mesh bottom pullouts have become more and more popular in my designs, with a lot of my clients requesting them from the initial stages of the design. Okay, the next one is another one that I would say is 50-50, but definitely worth incorporating into the design if your design is a little bit more on the traditional side. And this is a plate rack. So a lot of times you'll see a cabinet that has a slat system or dowels in the front of it, and then people will store their really beautiful plates vertically within this cabinet or plate rack cabinet. I think it's a beautiful feature to include in your kitchen. It makes your plates easily accessible if you do have them on an upper unit. And if you do like to display them, it just adds that beautiful visual interest into the design. Okay, so I spoke about tray dividers in the previous video. We all know I love those, but then there's also tray drawers. These are drawers that pull out and they have the same slat system or dividers within the drawer so that you can place all your cutting boards, baking sheets, things like that, but have it at a lower height. So maybe a little bit more accessible. If you have that drawer real estate to use on something like this, I highly recommend it. Sometimes it's a little easier to access than the tray dividers that are up high in a cabinet. But again, if you don't have the space for it, tray dividers in a cabinet is the way to go. And if you do have the space, put it in the drawer. Pan pullouts. This is a system that is relatively close to your cook area, so your range or your cooktop, and it's a pullout system similar to the oil and vinegar pullout system that I spoke about in the previous episode. So the system pulls out, but it has a racking system within it that you can hang your pans on. If you cook regularly with pans, this is an excellent storage system to include in your design. Okay, so this is one of the most requested things to include in my kitchen designs. Tupperware drawer. So a lot of the time when we're working on a kitchen design, in order to include a Tupperware drawer, we're working with a drawer and then an interior pullout within that drawer system. The bottom drawer houses all the Tupperware and that can be stacked. And then the interior pullout within the drawer is going to house all the lids for the Tupperware. It's an incredible way to keep all those items organized, and you're not fighting with all these other items within a drawer just to access and find the lid and the base that goes with that lid, and that's all gone. It's all organized, nice and neat in a drawer, and highly recommend it. And like I mentioned, it's one of the most requested items in my kitchen designs. Okay, this is another popular one. I actually include it in all my designs that have larger drawers, and most of them do. There may be the odd one that doesn't, but most of my designs, I'd say 99% of them, have large drawers included. And we're talking about pots and pans drawers. There isn't one design that includes a large drawer that doesn't have this included in it. And a lot of the time, the way I design the pots and pans drawers is similar to the Tupperware drawer, where you have a larger storage area at the bottom, and then within that drawer, you have an interior pullout. So you're pulling out a drawer face, one single drawer face, and then behind that drawer face is the larger storage area. And then hidden behind the drawer face is an interior pullout that's shallow. And the shallow interior pullout's going to house all the pots and pans lids. And the larger area below in the main drawer is going to be housing all the larger pots and pans. And like I mentioned, this one's a must. Okay, so if you are a baker, this is a common request in kitchen designs. A lot of my clients that are very into baking request this, and it is an appliance lift. This is a component that sits within a cabinet that has a door. You open the door and your mix master, you know, that tall mixer, that unit sits on this shelf that then kind of slides out and sits at a parallel height to your countertop. This allows you to easily access your mixer without having to lift it. They're quite heavy, and some of my clients just don't want to be fighting with this large, cumbersome item every time they bake. And if you're baking daily, it's kind of annoying, and you don't necessarily want it sitting out on your countertop. At least not all my clients do. So this is a great way to kind of keep that mixer hidden, but also easily accessible, easy to use, and easy to put away. So if you bake regularly, I highly recommend including one of these into your design. The last one is a paper towel holder. This is another one that's a 50-50 for my clients. Some clients have it as a must-have on their list. Others have it as a, I could do with it, I could do without it, it's not a priority. We're talking a paper towel holder, and there are a few different options for this. Some of the designs include a paper towel holder that's visible and it becomes part of the design. I'm not the biggest fan of this because if the roll runs out and you're not stocked on paper towels, then you just have this empty space with this exposed dowel, and it's not the most aesthetically pleasing. The other option is to have it hidden within a cabinet. So in your sink cabinet, for instance, or a cabinet next to your sink, you can have your paper towel component within that, and it's easily accessible close to your clean and prep area. That's it for my kitchen gadget list. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And thanks for watching.